you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hero of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
We want to thank you, our viewing audience, for tuning into our program, you I-Had believers. And the Lord Most High has given us so much that we try to share with you on this program of education and information to enlighten you about the signs of the time the Lord Most High has given us. With that being said, we're going to deal with some of the topics of this day from the Lord Most High concerning the legitimacy of the messenger prophet, him sending all this information in these letters to government heads from the top down of the truth that the Lord has given him to give to them. And by and large, many of them have failed away or feigned away from the truth, or they try to put a hush through the different avenues of postal, whether we talk on this program, or just correspondence in large to various communities through the internet and so forth and so on. So with that being said, Lord Holy-Apostle, how do you feel the attacks on such a subtle level to a mass level that the government is doing to keep people away from this truth that the Lord has given you?
How do I feel about it? Well, I feel that it's expected, first of all, and it's a detriment to them.
Okay.
You know, but I mean, when you deal with the devil and the dupes of the devil, they don't care about, you know, what the Lord cares.
Okay.
They are basically high-level disbelievers.
Right.
You know, and when it comes to the covenant, the agreement that the Lord sends down to mankind, they are more apt to try to destroy it and to use it for their own benefit, even if it means twisting it, like what they did with the books of the Bible. You know, when Constantine and those people, the Roman Catholics, got together and formed the religion of Christianity that people follow today.
Okay.
You know, and claiming, you know, Jesus is the only begotten Son of the Lord Most High, which is, you know, something other than anything in creation.
Right.
You know.
Yes.
And so, you know, it's when the Lord sent me out to reach out to certain leaders such as Minister Farrakhan and others, the government who was tracking him got wind of me.
All right.
That's how they came to know about me.
Okay.
Because the Lord told me to contact him and announce to him that that myself with the covenant was here. And so it was for me to take the covenant out to Minister Farrakhan so that he could share it with his people.
Right.
But as you know, I was rejected. I was not seen. They refused to even see me. And so the history is that for these past 7 years, 8 years, whatever it's been, 9 years, they have ignored me. And from what I was told by a brother who was involved with the Nation of Islam, they even told him not to mention my name in the mosque. You know.
Right.
So it's like, you know, everybody wants to put a hush hush on my presence. You know, and they know what's going on. And after after they did become aware of me, you know, it was obvious that the jinn had sent their agents. You know, the government agents, because there's no way in the world you would get, you know, a throng of Caucasians together to come and parade around my home, you know, and point at my home and try to terrorize my children and my family, you know, the rest of my family, and then follow my wife and then take lugs off my cars and, you know, and things of that nature, you know, and then have people following us, and then the same people show up as, you know, telephone operators or public service attendants and things of that nature. You know, it's, who got the power to do that?
Exactly.
You know, and then for them to be around my home at all late hours of the night, and then when I call the police,
right,
they run right as soon as moments after the police call has gone out. See, I'm a retired police officer
Right.
for the state, so I know how things operate.
Scanners, right? They can,
you
right.
know, and so they would run right away. You know, so
Yes.
I mean, I'm ex-military, top secret clearance. You know, trained, had a secret mission. You know, I mean,
Right.
I was pretty deep into that. Trained by the military, trained by state police, state troopers. You know, and plus I was in the Nation of Islam. Plus I was in the street. I was running hard in the street as a youngster, and one of the bad guys. You know, as far as, you know, what people say, I thought I was a good guy trying to save people in the streets, but you know, you know how it is when you young and you wild, you don't really know which way you're going.
Right.
And so I paid my dues by, you know, becoming a police officer from what the Lord told me. You know, that for running for those years, you know, running away from authority, I ran to them to have people running away from me, so to speak. But in other words, what I'm saying is I'm thoroughly trained in the streets and in the government. You see, so the government knows about my status, and they know my mental status. You know, so if there was anything that wasn't right with me, they would have used that to come against me, to take me down. But they know that, you know, they know all that I've been through, and
yes. That's one of the things I thought about when I either first gave this message.
Yes.
And your background, your history. And they know the credibility that you do possess.
Oh, yeah.
Not just in the word that the Lord give you, but your from the top down clearances. So now, their thing now is to keep you on almost on a hush straps.
Oh, yes.
In other words, if you ever get out or people get wind of you for real, whether through correspondence, those that you have wrote to, never responded back from the politicians down.
Yeah. From the president down.
From the president down.
From the Congress and the senators.
These
you
people,
know, what have you.
Even the people that you have sent letters to, even if they get mail they may think is suspicious, they do run it. Whatever letter comes, they run a background or run a.
You know, anybody send a letter to the president of the United States of America, the one that's sitting in the seat, they don't ignore that. Right. They don't ignore that.
That's what I'm saying, right.
Government agencies get that. So the Lord commanded that I send them this letter because of those agencies, the agents that was trying to put this terror in my family and doing this. But they wouldn't come directly to me. They would go to my wife or my children. You know, other people that was associated with me. But of course, you know, I gave them a message and they have stopped. It's been years since they've, you know, have assaulted us, so to speak. But the thing about it is, it's like the little joke that they tell about the devil. You know, you don't have to do, the devil's on vacation. You don't have to do his work because the people is doing it. So they don't have to keep coming around trying to disturb me, trying to stop me because the people ain't listening. You understand? And so the Lord commanded that I go out into the public, you know, put a public office, because of course I've been public for 28 years, almost 28 years now. And so it commanded that I go out there, put a big sign like a billboard up and announce that who I am and that we're here, you know, the covenant is here and what have you. And of course, you know, you've had agents of the masjids, of the temples, Islamic temples come out and try to do their thing. But this thing that the Lord is given is an unstoppable thing. You know, they can stop this just as well as they could stop the sun from shining, and you know they can't at all stop the sun from shining. You see, and the thing is, I live in the will of the Lord and in the command of the Lord. You see, and people, they can reject its command, but no one can reject its will, and no one can do anything to stop this if this is what the Lord wants to be. Now that we're living in the last days and time, you know, the Lord is determined to have its prophecy fulfilled, the prophecy of Revelation and the prophecy of the Holy Quran, and the prophecy of Nostradamus and the prophecy of Malachi and the prophecy of the Vedas, all the prophecy that points to this day and time that we living in. You understand? Now, like Minister Farrakhan said, he know there's a small group of people here, you know, that got the Lord's, with the chosen one who got the Lord's covenant, you know, and we know that's true. But do he really know it's true? Do he really know it's true? Because if he really knew it was true, how could he turn a deaf ear to me? And I know we've been, ever since we went to see him out to Mount Mariam and stayed there for that 5 days and 6 days or whatever it was, going back and forth, and they all refused to see us. And even we begged for the administration, somebody in the administration to see us, went while they was having their meetings and everything. And they refused, saying that we didn't have credibility in Newark because we wasn't well known in Newark. You know.
Lord, the question whether Minister Farrakhan believed whether
I don't think he believed. I don't think he believed.
Yeah.
I don't think Minister Farrakhan is a believer. I think he's a showman. He's like many ministers who believe that there must be a God, as they say. There must be one. But at the same time, he is like many other people, the multitudes of people who just can't believe that the Lord is right here and now. Can't believe that the Lord is really paying attention to them specifically as an individual. Can't believe that. You know, and like they said in their final call newspaper after we was trying to contact, after we contacted them and said, well, you know, we could believe in a messenger to come and a messenger that was here, but we can't believe in one that is here. Now that message was directly in response to our letters to them, but nobody else know what that was about. We know that was a message to us, you know.
Like a confession.
So
Almost an inside.
It was just like the government started putting those movies out with the words that came out of the covenant and talk about me and Jihad and you know, like what was that picture? Hellboy. Mention our names, you know, and say they was in Newark, you know, and their headquarters in Newark, and you know they trying to do us, but every time they try to do us, we multiply, you know. And that, I would assume that was them playing with us and also getting a message out to their people.
Well, you always stated that too, as anytime the doers of evil communicate with one another, it's whether through print, media, television, the movies. Now, our people, upon hearing this message the Lord is giving you, and they always are the first to attack us.
Most of the time, excuse me for cutting you off, but most of the time, our people, things like this here, is too high for our people.
Over there,
It's like, how could they say that they making movies about them? Well, if you look at Hellboy and they say Samuel and Jihad, I'm Samuel. I was born Samuel.
Right.
My son is Jihad. He's a rapper. You understand? And he's going out in public doing his thing. You understand? And they clearly state that they're in Newark, and Samuel resurrected is fighting behind Ahezaah Jihad or whatever, you know. And so, but to our people, it's like, it can't be real, you know. But that's the same way it is in every day when the messenger of Allah comes, when the messenger of El Amin, the Jehovah, come. You understand? People can't believe that the messenger is really here, that the Lord has really sent the man. It's not until a man pass on or something very drastic happens that, you know, that then people come to believe because of the desire to compromise, you know. And I just want the people to know that here it is, we coming into another year, another month of this Black History Month.
Right.
I want them to understand that we're not free.
Yes.
As a people. We're not free, and their leaders are not leading them to freedom. And that us going into politics, that's not what the Lord Most High wanted for us. It wanted us to listen and to surrender to its covenant. You're not going to get freedom from the devil. You're not going to get freedom from the one who put you in slavery. You're not going to get freedom from the one who put the chains on you. They only releasing you bit by bit for their benefit, for their purpose. And people can't see the big picture. The big picture is the big picture is that they want the world to see that they're fit soldiers to police the world. And they can't be looked upon as fit soldiers to police the world if they got slaves. If they don't, if they're not giving freedom, justice, and equality to the lowest people. You understand? And they hold us as the lowest people. You see, so what they do is they give us what we want. Now, what is it that they've made us want? Because our people have been nurtured and formed and driven into certain wants. Do our people really want to lead this country? No.
No.
Because our people was afraid to lead this country. Our people were afraid to lead themselves. Our people want to be able to mingle with them. And many of our people, believe it or not, many of our people are more Caucasian than they are African.
Yes.
You see, we are mixed culture, mixed race of people. That's why Ahezaah calls us Afro-Americans.
Something we don't recognize.
Something we don't recognize. Yeah, and it's in our nature. So some of our people, actually some of our dark-skinned people, you can classify them Caucasian African-Americans.
Right.
And some of our people, you can classify them African Caucasian Americans.
Yeah,
you understand?
that's true.
But see, we are the slop heap people.
Yeah.
We the junkyard people. We take everybody and everything. Any junk they want to throw on us, we take it. You understand? Not so much to say that people are junk, but you know where I'm coming from.
Right.
We just take everything, anybody, just like Tiger Woods rejected us, but no, don't reject us, you're us. He said he's something,
Caucasian or
whatever. Let the man be what he say he is. You know, I'm Native American, Native African American. I got Native American Indian from what my Lord is pointing out to me and what I see of my people. I have more Native American in me than African. You see, so, and my spirit is Native American more so than African American. Now, for a lot of brothers in this country to hear that, they get angry. Oh, he trying to get away from African. Our roots ain't all African. Our forefathers was brought from Africa, but some of our forefathers who was enslaved was brought from was Native American Indians, because they mixed. You see, and then through the process of the slavery thing, we mixed with every race of people that came in, and some of us mixed heavily with Caucasians, Irish, French, Spaniards, and the whole 9 yards. You understand? So we can't be the same people. If you water down tea, man, you're gonna get something else. You gonna, you take coffee and you put milk in it, and what you got watered down, milk down coffee. You understand? So the more you got of one thing, the less you got of the other.
So, Lord, would you say, like, further to the Afrocentric movement, the movement for, say, Black History Month, all the other commemorations for blackness, for Africanness, is that taking us off course?
Yes, that's taking us off course. That's taking us off course. Look how they've thrown Martin Luther King at us. They killed the man. They killed the man. They killed him. They trashed him. They stomped him. They put dogs on him, whipped his people, did all that. And they even set up their own people to be in his organization so they can keep an eye on him. They always put a Caucasian or somebody in their agency, to keep an eye on people. Now they did that, and once they killed the king, they said, okay, you can have your king now.
Right.
That's how they did with Jesus.
Right.
They didn't really literally kill Jesus, but in the mind of the people, they have killed Jesus. Now you can have your king.
When they nailed him on that cross.
Malcolm couldn't move an inch until he was dead. Now you can have your king. You see? But the little man, the little humble man, the little man who wasn't a good public speaker, Elijah, he was from Ahezaah.
Right.
And they're afraid to mention his name because Ahezaah lives.
Yes.
See, they know Elijah's passed on, but the one he represented lives. So they're afraid to mention Elijah's name because people will pick up. They don't want to mention Elijah's name. You understand?
So them slaying, so then there again, they're slaying the people that Ahezaah sent to be raised up, to raise them up. Now our people fighting now, like you said, you mentioned those who joined into the political circle, the polite calling of the devil, we call it the politics.
Yeah, right.
And our people, if they don't want to be brought out of that to be truly freed and think that their success is only in this political arena, then us trying to call out to them is it many times fall on deaf ears, or they really don't want to hear the message that the Lord is giving you?
There's different things involved with this here. Like I said, you get some of our people that's more Caucasian than they are African, even though some got dark skin.
Right.
You understand? But the people of the world want to make it the other way. If you touch them black people, if you touch them Negroes, then you're a Negro. That's not true.
Right.
You know? So when you talk about Black History Month, whose history you talking about? Right. What black man? What black people? You understand? And then when you give a man position that you keep control of, especially the powerful people in our particular society, in our race, or in this nation of Afro-Americans, when you give them a position of power under your tutelage, under your guidance, you shut them down from the one they were leading. And if those people are not really mature, because the Jesse Jacksons of the world and all them people in politics and what have you, and the great poets and what have you, that's been nurtured under this system, they're not mature. They're not mature, spiritually mature. They're not divinely mature.
Okay.
See, people don't understand what true spirituality is. They don't understand what the true covenant of the Lord is. And they think that these people, because they got age and because they're well learned, studied, you understand? They think they mature because they grow beards and they get older and got gray hair. They think they mature. But in terms of maturing in holiness, they are not mature. They're babies. Some of them not even born in holiness yet. Right. And they run around with the flag of holiness. And because some of them have the gift of gab. See, our people love people who can talk and sing. Right. Yeah. You understand? And that's what in the gen of this world, the Caucasians who lead this government, they recognize that our people fall down to people who can sing. So they take a person who got a good voice and who don't have a good mind because about freedom. About true freedom and having the right to be independent of somebody else's thoughts and their thought process. If they get one of those, they put them up. And because they had a power, they choose our leaders through them. They say, okay, you can follow this person. You understand? You can follow that person. You know, but when they have somebody who's really striking that nerve, man, they have to slay them before they could put them up. Because you can't get nothing else out of them. I don't care how great they are, you can't get nothing else out of them. You understand?
Once they're slain, you're saying?
Once they're slain, take Elijah Muhammad, for instance. Nobody could slay Elijah. They couldn't even slay Elijah in death.
Right.
That's why they scared. They can't mess with him. They can't slay him. But his family can. His bloodline can. Because people believe your bloodline.
Right.
You could be the most honorable man in the world, but let your children or your wife come and say something negative about you, and they jump all on that, and people say, oh, his wife or his children said so. It must be true. Okay.
Because they're the people that's on the inside of the house that people can't see outside of.
There you go.
And now people again. So if looking at that, then our people, after seeing many of these so-called our leaders slain for truth, then what is the mechanism that's keeping them still? I see what's happening to them.
We got to see.
That's about okay.
We got to see the fear that's been nurtured in us for 500 years.
Yeah,
see, my Lord has informed me that because my people come from Native Americans who black people married into, and then here I go coming through that line, and I'm dark-skinned and black, right?
Right.
But if you listen to my voice tone, if you look at my features, if you see my body and see the redness in me, if you see my sisters and brothers and see how they look like Indians, got the Indian skin, fair hair, and what have you, you'll know that we're not just the average African Americans.
Right.
So my Lord explained to me that because in my bloodline we escaped slavery, I don't have that seed in me. See, the Lord can take you from 1,000,000 years ago and keep up with you and guide you to what it wants you to be.
Right.
The Lord makes you what it wants you to be. So it guided me away from the influence of that seed. So I couldn't be a good slave. I couldn't live in slavery time and live. I'd be probably like Kunta Kinte, getting my legs cut off, so to speak. You know? But you got people that's been nurtured and they have children who still have that fear. If you study nature, if you study the nature channels with animals and stuff, people adjust. Animals adjust. We're part animals, and we adjust. So if you whip an animal long enough, I don't care how ferocious that animal is, it will learn stay away from them humans.
Right.
You know, you got certain ferocious animals know stay away from humans because they will kill you. They will hurt you. Right. And that's the way it is. It's ingrained. It's within us. You know, within our genes, man. It's like a package.
That's true because you get some
fear Caucasians and serve Caucasians and lay down at Caucasian or Aryan people, and that's why you got the brothers who fought and who recognized the covenant or the agreement of Islam as being the same thing that was given to Jesus and Moses and the Torah and all the other prophets and all the other people of the children of the Lord Most High. Right. Even they choosing Islam, they still slaves. They still have that germ in them, that seed in them to be second class, to be servants. You understand? To lighter skinned people, and they bow down, and some of them can't help it, and they don't even know why. And then you have some who are turncoats because they got all this Caucasian in them. Study people, man.
Right.
Study people. You got people, man, who hate Caucasians because Caucasians don't accept them.
Right.
Okay? And they don't even understand why. And why they so angry. Because in them, they are Caucasians. A lot of them are Caucasians. More Caucasian. They got that germ of Caucasian in them. And they troublemakers, and they cause divisions, and then they sectarians, you know. And even the Nation of Islam, man, I hate to say it, but you, back in the day, man, you go in Nation of Islam, they had all light-skinned people sitting up front. Dark-skinned people in the back. Light-skinned people getting to be captains and lieutenants and so forth and so on. Look on the stage. Look on the stage of Farrakhan. Look on in Newark. Back in Newark, you had some of the darkest ministers, but you always had them light-skinned people was in power. And then they had the light-skinned, you know, go back to the light-skinned women was the prettiest women. And, you know, once you really look, where's beauty? Beauty's skin deep.
That's right.
You know, but you look inside a person, that tells whether they're beautiful or ugly. You know, you understand what I'm saying? But you had some that wasn't as physically attractive as some dark-skinned women, but you didn't, people close their eyes. You can close your eyes to anything.
Yeah.
You know, and what you want to be beautiful to you is beautiful to you. You know? I mean, look at some of the Twilight Zone pictures, man, where they had the, or the Outer Limits, or one of them, where they had the very ugly people, and they thought the beautiful people was ugly, and you know they turn around at the end and they look pig faces.
Yeah, like beauty
you know?
in the eye of the beholder.
That was the
There
one
you go. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, man.
Right.
You know.
So if we're as a people, we're taught to behold ourselves, depending upon the hue of the skin.
There you go.
You know what the standard of beauty, what the standard of acceptance is. Part of that seed of self-hatred, of self-rejection.
Yeah, well, yeah, self-rejection, and then we getting back to this thing where you got the straight-up Caucasians, and some of our people is mixed in with them. They so much Caucasian that the Caucasians can't tell they us, and they live. That's why some people say Bill Clinton was brother, but you know, we know we have some in there like that.
Yeah.
But they hate our people so much, the dark-skinned people, and it's a strange thing why Caucasians hate black people, man. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
But you know, when you if you look all around the world, you get people of all races, all nationalities. You got them hating, you got them killing, you got them robbing, you got them stealing, you got the beast in them, and it's being manifested out of them. But it just so happens that here in these United States of America, the beast was the Caucasian. That was the greater beast, and it took over the beastly African Americans. And you got beasts among the African Americans. You got some seriously dangerous people amongst African Americans.
Lord, when you say beast, you're talking about
I'm talking
their
about
behavior.
I'm talking about people who are literally influenced by the devil within. See, our people, a lot of our people don't want to believe that they got a devil within them. They don't want to believe that the Lord is to be found in them and the devil is to be found in them. They don't want to believe that, you know. But see, our Black History Month ain't nothing about really educating our people about the covenant of the Lord Most High, about the history of the different dark-skinned people of the world, you know. From going beyond the United States of America. Why is it that our black politicians who they have allowed to come up into power haven't got together in the Black Caucus and demanded that they do DNA tests on all the black people and let them know who their people were by their genes? Why haven't they demanded that be a free service to the people? Why is it that you got to spend thousands of dollars to find out, you know, where your genes lead from? It might just go to 1860. You understand what I'm saying? Where they lose stuff. Because we know when it comes to the Native Americans, they lose stuff at 1860. But they can go further, you know, if you're a mixed culture. You know, if you're a mixed race, race of people, you understand why they don't do that, and why they don't demand that we have some fair education in terms of a true self-development independent of other people. You know, we're not talking about pushing forth the cause of war. We're not talking about pushing forth a way to take down Caucasians Americans. Because, see, the Caucasians really know the ones who lead the jinn, not the ones who are brainwashed by the jinn. And you know, the leaders of this nation. I'm talking about the ones who lead this nation, who got Holy Qurans themselves, who got the Vedas themselves, the Torah themselves, got all the ancient books in their hidden libraries. We talking about the Masons. We talking
Right.
about you know, those people in the higher the trilateral commission,
Ooh,
you know, and going higher than that. You understand? We talking about them. They know that what they've done to our people, you know, and you got them as much involved in Black History Month now as you got black folks, and black folks is happy thinking that they're moving on up, not realizing that they're being utilized just so these people can step up and take control of the world or do other people in any other kind of way that they want. And they're the great destroyers of earth.
Who of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to